Hello everyone, my name is Holly and today's video is a bit of a spicy one. We're going to be talking about a few series that I have decided to DNF, give up on, not continue, whatever word you want to use. So we will be talking about those today. As always, I will never ever tell you not to read a book. I'm only here to give you my opinion. People can have different opinions. You can love books people hate and hate books people love and still all be friends. I know we're getting crazy over here. But before we dive into the spice, today's video is sponsored by Ren, who I'm very excited to be working with today. Ren is a website that helps you calculate your carbon footprint and then gives you ways to offset it by funding projects that plants trees and protects rainforests. And all you have to do when you get to their website is answer a few questions about your lifestyle, and Ren will then show you what your individual carbon footprint is and how you can reduce it. And because reducing your carbon footprint to zero is almost impossible, you can also offset what you have left. If you sign up to make a monthly contribution to offset your carbon footprint, you will receive updates from the tree planting, rainforest protection, and other projects that you're supporting. A project that Ren supports that really caught my attention is Carbon 180 because it helps improve the transparency and scientific integrity of carbon removal and climate solutions through open data, tools, and leadership, and it promotes carbon removal on U.S. farmland. You get to see the trees that you planted and what your money is being spent on, and you can also look at other ways that you can help, like pushing for wider government action at ren.co. The first 100 people who sign up using the link down below in the description box of this video will have 10 extra trees planted in their name. And I think that's super cool. So thanks, Ren, for working with me today. So the first series I'm going to be talking about today is this one, Masters and Mages, and I'm only going to hold up the first book, which is Cold Iron. So Miles Cameron is an author that I unfortunately might just be throwing my hands up and surrender to, waving the white flag, because I just don't jive with his writing. I also DNF'd the Red Knight series by him for the same reason a while back, and thought, oh, like many years have passed, I should dip into his books again. Maybe it was like a one-off chance that his older book just didn't work for me, but nope, he's just not for me, I guess. And I can't really explain why. There's just something about his writing that I don't like. It just doesn't do anything for me. Maybe it's slow, like it's not poor. It's not like he can't like construct a sentence. There is just something about his particular style that I can't quite describe that doesn't work for me. And I noticed it immediately here, like after the first page, I was like, this is what I remember. And it confirmed it for me that it wasn't just the Red Knight series itself. And there's no way I'll be able to get through this whole trilogy, which makes me sad because his plot and storytelling, oh, right up my alley. Medieval fantasy, dragons, knights, and like I love that kind of stuff. He writes books I love to read about, but it's the writing style I just can't get behind, and I think I give up. Daughter of the Moon Goddess. I'm mentioning this book because it's only a duology, and I read the first book and am choosing not to read the finale. Listen, I know a lot of people love this book, and I definitely read it because of the hype surrounding it, but I wasn't its target audience. I can admit that. But the story felt very flat to me, very surface level, though explaining the story to someone, it sounds amazing and wild and unique. In the beginning was exactly that, but I think my problem lies with the main character when she meets the love interest. Surprise, surprise. And I fell off the wagon, and that's also when I realized a lot of its flaws. I'm not interested in seeing how the story ends, though these books have some of the most beautiful covers. I don't find the story itself worth it in my opinion, but if you haven't read these because the final book is out, give them a try. They are very beloved, and if you do, I hope you enjoy them, and if not, join my club. Moon Called. This one is shocking to me because I thought for sure I was going to enjoy it for what it was. So I read the first 2 books to the series last year, actually, for the first time. I finally decided I wanted to see what all the hype was about. And the series is very much a cult classic. It's like the shining emblem of the urban fantasy genre. I reviewed the first book, Moon Called, in a wrap-up last year, and I believe I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't a bad book at all, but I didn't love it. The writing was great, storytelling was great. It's just a book that wasn't for me with all the hunky werewolves and romance. This is why I don't post at TikTok, because everyone would just run at me with pitchforks for good reason, because I am a romance hater. Oh, I hate romance. Anyways, then I read the book too, and I really had to force myself through that one. so much so that I skim read it and I declared it not an official read, which is why I never really did a review for it on this channel, but not for me. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone telling me to read it. So this next one is a doozy, and you're all probably going to be confused for a second, but the Spellslinger series. Now, I'm not talking about this series here that consists of 6 books. I've read all of them, but I'm talking about the standalone prequel books that I'm going to post a picture of here that were added to it recently, which is following a character that I love, I might add. Overall, I love this series. Well, okay, I actually despise the last 2 books and have been on the fence of unhauling this entire series because of that, because I do own all 6 of them, but I do love the first 4. I just hated how the series ended so much that I can't get myself to pick up the new stuff, and what's sad is I've heard these are great, so I'm constantly going back and forth on purchasing them, but I was stabbed in the heart by the last 2 books that it put a bad taste in my mouth for all of them. If I get to a point where I have nothing else to read, then yeah, maybe I'll dive back into this world, but for now, I am not excited. And the last one that I have here is another jarring one maybe, and that is the Fractured Fable series by Alex E. Haro. This is a series of novellas, which there's only 2 out so far. I'm assuming there will be more. It's a Sleeping Beauty remix. Retelling almost feels like the wrong word to describe the series, but it has a modern day main character getting transported into the Sleeping Beauty universe, almost like Alice in Wonderland-esque. I read and really enjoyed the first one, A Spindle Splintered, but I couldn't get into the second book. So much so, I DNF'd it. And DNFing a novella is quite insane, especially because they're only like, 100 pages or so. So I don't think I'll be reading these if Haro releases more. I think I'm just so over fairy tale retellings. I've been over fairy tale retellings for years. They really took over BookTube, I don't know, like what, like 2017-ish? Man, I've been on here for way too long. I was never super into them to begin with, but now I am like super over it. So that is it for the series I have decided to DNF recently. Comment below and tell me some series that you plan to not continue, because I would love to know, as I'm sure everyone else would too. Before you go, be sure to like this video because it helps me out a lot, and don't forget to check out that offer from Ren, which is linked down below. Thank you so much for watching, and until we meet again, happy reading.